Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Getting to Know Japan. This is a funny episode, but I hope it's educational for some of you that are planning on visiting Japan, or maybe you're going to move here in the future. So this should help you. So let's get started. So one of the foods that Japan is infamous for is wasabi. So most people in the world know that it's really spicy, and it usually is something that comes with sushi. A lot of people think it kills the bacteria in the raw fish when you eat sushi, but it's also a flavor that a lot of people like, and it comes in condiments. For example, there's mayonnaise, like wasabi flavored mayonnaise, wasabi flavored mustard. So when you buy those condiments, if you don't look in the small print at the bottom of the bottle, you could be buying wasabi flavored mayonnaise. Some things that you wouldn't expect wasabi flavor to come in, things like wasabi flavored almonds, or even Dorito chips. There's wasabi flavored Dorito chips. And something that you definitely wouldn't expect is the Kit Kat chocolate candy bars, the chocolate snacks. There's even wasabi flavored Kit Kats. So you have to be really careful when you buy things. It's usually written in Japanese, and it's small at the bottom of the package, wasabi flavored. So be careful when you buy those things. Another common mistake that foreigners make is when they buy milk here in Japan. Just like in other countries, there's lots of different types of milk. So you have soy milk, regular milk, low-fat milk, skim milk, buttermilk, flavored milk, all kinds of things. So you have to be really careful when looking at packages, and most of the time it's written in Japanese, so you're going to have to navigate your way through that. But there's also a really popular drink. A lot of Japanese like it. It's yogurt that you can drink, but the bottle looks just like a milk carton or milk bottle, and it's white just like milk, but it's like a watered down version of yogurt. So a lot of foreigners buy it, and then they get home and then they pour it in their cereal and realize this isn't milk. So that's another one you have to be careful about. Also, peanut butter. So in Japan, there are versions of peanut butter that are sold that's not quite like what you'd find in the Western world, but one thing you have to be careful for is Japanese like miso. Miso is like a fermented paste that they use to make miso soup, but it's real salty flavor. And the canister, it's a square canister. You can see right there, it looks just like peanut butter. So it's definitely not something that you want to spread on toast and eat plain like that. And then another thing is what a lot of foreigners think they're buying cheese is tofu. You know, tofu is really common in other countries, but if you're not used to buying tofu, there are lots of different types. There's soft tofu, firm tofu. There's really smooth looking tofu, and it can look like cheese if you're not careful. And then there's also other things. Gyoza, the dumplings that you eat at like Japanese and Chinese restaurants. The gyoza wraps, you can buy those at the supermarket. But if you just look at the package, it looks like slices of cheese. So have to be careful with that as well. And next are alcoholic beverages. So one person I talked to, she actually bought a thing of water. She thought she was buying water, but it was actually shochu, which is a really strong Japanese alcoholic drink. It's made from like distilled barley and sweet potatoes and things like that, but it's almost like a vodka type of drink, but it's really cheap, and you can buy a big jug of it for like $10 or 1,000 yen, and the package is all written in kanji. So some people think they're buying bottled water, but they're buying 20 or 25% alcohol. So and then along the same lines is Japan is known for its workaholic culture. So energy drinks are really popular here in Japan, and but along with energy drinks, alcohol is really popular here in Japan. So there are some alcoholic, like canned drinks that you don't see in America too often. It's called chuhai, which is a mix of shochu and highball, which is like a cocktail, but they sell strong versions of it that are 9% alcohol. But when you look at the can, like you can see there, it looks like an energy drink, and there have been foreigners drink it thinking it's an energy drink and then go back to work and end up being a little bit drunk when they're at work. So have to be careful with that as well. One mistake that I made when I first came to Japan is I wanted to make some of my mother's chili. It's like a chili soup, and I needed red beans, and I couldn't read the package at the supermarket very well, so I bought these beans, azuki beans, which are used to make anko, which is like a sweet red bean paste. Really sweet, lots of sugar is added to it. I bought those by accident and put it in the chili and didn't know that those were the beans used for making anko. So I ended up having some really, really sweet chili, which I don't think I even ate any of it. So beans, have to be careful because they may not be what you expect. And then along the same lines, anko, which is the red sweet beans, it's mixed in different ways and cooked in different ways. And sometimes it's really dark looking, like has a brown color to it. So some foreigners think it's chocolate when it's actually red sweet beans. So like you can see there. And then for chocolate, one of my favorite things back in the States is chocolate pudding. And you don't see chocolate pudding very often here in Japan. There are lots of like custard puddings, those kind of things, but you don't see chocolate pudding very often. And I got excited one time. I thought I found some chocolate pudding, but it was actually hojicha pudding, which hojicha is roasted green tea. So it's like a roasted green tea flavored pudding. Looks brown, but it tastes like a green tea type of flavor. So you can't just judge things by the way they look. Another thing is thinking that you're buying mozzarella cheese sticks they're fried and breaded that you can just heat up. But when you actually get home, they're fish sticks. So you have to be careful between the mozzarella cheese sticks and fish sticks. And one thing that you saw at the beginning of the video is one thing that quite a few people have a mistake at is. Okay, so we're here with Benson, and where are you from?
I am from Kenya.
From Kenya, and
Yes.
so how long have you been in Japan?
I've been in Japan for the past 1 month, but I came back before. I was here for about 2 years.
Oh, for 2 years.
Yes, yes, yes.
So have you ever bought any food by mistake in Japan?
Mochiron, of course.
What kind of food did you buy? You thought it was something else?
Most of the Japanese food are labeled in kanji, so like the sugar and salt, you can't know the difference. Both are white in color, so I ended up buying sugar instead of salt and vice versa.
Did you put it in your coffee or something?
Yes, I put my salt in a cup of tea and I was surprised.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. One thing that you saw at the beginning of the video is one thing that quite a few people have a mistake at is salt and sugar. Making the mistake of buying salt when you need sugar or buying sugar when you need salt, because they both come in really similar bags and both written in kanji most of the time. So you have to be careful with that. Another thing are hot spring eggs. When you think you're buying just regular eggs that you can make scrambled eggs or a fried egg, in Japan they have these, they're called hot spring eggs or onsen tamago. So it's like a half-boiled egg, or kind of like a poached egg. And like you saw at the beginning of this video, it just comes out and it's like a ball. It's like a half-cooked egg. But you could still make scrambled eggs out of it if you wanted to. I've done it quite a few times, but I like the onsen eggs too. You usually put a little bit of soy sauce, like a sweet soy sauce with it, and they're really good. A couple of more common mistakes are usually pronunciation related, like words that are real similar. So something like in Japanese, soy milk is tonyu, but a lot of people use kerosene to heat their homes. So if you go to a gas station and ask for, you should be asking for toyu, which is kerosene, but I've heard a foreigner saying tonyu. So you have to be careful with the pronunciation. Tonyu is soy milk, toyu is kerosene. Another thing is a story that I heard. A guy's wife sent him to the supermarket to buy some oyster sauce. And in Japanese, you can see on the screen, it's written in Japanese, but they're really similar. Oyster sauce and Worcestershire sauce. So they look, the Japanese even looks really similar. So if you don't know exactly what you're looking for, you could buy oyster sauce or Worcestershire sauce by accident. So these are just a few of the food mistakes that I've heard about, some that I've made myself. So when you come to Japan, try to learn to read at least a little bit to help you with your shopping, and make sure you don't buy the wasabi flavored Kit Kats. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have any food that you've bought by mistake in Japan or in other countries, put them in the comments below, and feel free to share some of your experiences. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you liked it, and stay tuned for more videos. See you guys next time.